Could Andrew Mangiapane actually be the low-risk, high-reward acquisition that finally gives the Toronto Maple Leafs the secondary scoring and grit they've been desperately searching for? Or is Brad Treliving about to waste valuable assets on yet another underperforming veteran who will struggle just as much in Toronto as he has in Edmonton? Let me set the stage for what's become a fascinating opportunity emerging from Edmonton's desperation. It's Thursday, January 8th, 2026, and while the fan base has been dreaming about blockbuster trades, Jason Robertson, Rasmus Andersson, Braden Shen, Brad Treliving might actually be looking in the neighbor's trash can for gold. According to the analysis from Jim Parsons, insider Chris Johnston sees legitimate logic in Toronto acquiring Andrew Mangiapane from the Edmonton Oilers. The reasoning is simple and elegant. Better the devil you know. Mangiapane is at a historic low in Edmonton. He's failed to produce alongside the greatest stars in the world. Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and the rest of the Oilers' elite talent haven't been able to unlock whatever's been holding Mangiapane back. Edmonton is desperate to clear his $3.6 million cap hit. And for Toronto, this represents a genuine low-risk, high-reward opportunity. Here's what makes this proposal so compelling from a management perspective. The cost to acquire Mangiapane could be virtually nothing. Edmonton might actually give him away just to clear the salary cap space. They might ask for future considerations, a late-round pick, or even agree to take on a salary in return. The point is that Mangiapane has become a cap casualty, and sometimes cap casualties can be acquired for pennies on a dollar. But here's the crucial element that makes this different from other acquisitions: the Treliving factor. Brad Treliving knows exactly what Andrew Mangiapane is capable of. He managed him in Calgary. He watched him score 35 goals, and he understands a player's character and work ethic. This isn't a blind acquisition based on statistics or potential. This is a calculated move by a general manager who has direct experience with the player and believes he can recover his form. Think about what Mangiapane represents for this team. The Leafs desperately need secondary scoring and grit. They need a winger who can play on the third line, who can contribute offensively without being a primary scorer, and who can bring the kind of physical presence that championship teams need. If Mangiapane can recover his confidence away from the pressure cooker of Edmonton, if he can find his game in a new environment with a coach like Craig Berube who demands physicality, he could actually be exactly what Toronto needs. The comparison to other acquisitions is also instructive. Earlier, we discussed pursuing Jason Robertson for an astronomical price, trading away Easton Cowan and Ben Danford. We discussed acquiring Braden Shen for veteran leadership. But sometimes, the best acquisitions aren't the flashy ones that make headlines. They're the smart ones that address specific needs efficiently. Here's what's fascinating about Mangiapane's situation. In Arizona, before he came to Toronto in this timeline, he was productive. He put up 57 points in 2023 to 24. He showed that he can score, that he can create, and that he can be a useful NHL player. The question is whether his struggles in Edmonton are indicative of a permanent decline or whether they're situational, a result of playing in a dysfunctional environment or not fitting the system. Brad Treliving is betting that it's the latter. He's betting that Mangiapane's struggles in Edmonton are more about the situation than about the player himself. He's betting that a change of scenery, a reunion with a coach who demands physicality and effort, an opportunity to play in a less pressurized environment could unlock the version of Mangiapane that scored 35 goals in Calgary. The risk is obviously significant. If Mangiapane continues to underperform in Toronto, if he can't find his game even with a fresh start, then the Leafs have wasted an asset and taken on a contract that could become problematic. But the beauty of this acquisition is that the cost is so low that even if it fails, it's not a catastrophic failure. You're not trading away first-round picks or elite prospects. You're potentially trading away a late-round pick or taking on a salary. Let's also consider what this move would mean for the organization's philosophy. Earlier in the season, there were rumors about trading Auston Matthews, about selling off assets, about a complete rebuild. Now, the organization is making moves to acquire players who could help the team compete. That's a significant shift in direction, and it suggests that Treliving believes this team can actually make a playoff push. The question for Brad Treliving is whether he's willing to bet on a player he knows and trusts, even if that player has struggled recently. Is he willing to take a calculated risk on someone who has underperformed, believing that a change of scenery could unlock his potential? Or should he focus on other acquisitions that come with less risk? Here's what I think is most likely to happen. If Edmonton is truly desperate to move Mangiapane, if they're willing to essentially give him away, then Treliving should absolutely make the move. The risk-reward calculation is overwhelmingly in Toronto's favor. Even if Mangiapane only contributes at 50% of his Calgary production level, he's still a useful player on a manageable contract. And if he recovers to his Arizona form, he becomes a legitimate secondary scoring option that could make a real difference in the playoffs. So here's the question for Leafs Nation. Should Brad Treliving pursue Andrew Mangiapane and acquire him for minimal assets? Or should he focus on other acquisitions that might have higher ceilings? Is Mangiapane the low-risk, high-reward move that could actually help this team? Or is he just another underperforming veteran who will struggle in Toronto just like he has in Edmonton? Would you support this acquisition if you were a Leafs fan? Or would you prefer to see the organization focus on other options? Drop your thoughts in the comments and hit that like button if you want more coverage of this potential acquisition and the strategic direction of the franchise. Because sometimes the best moves aren't the ones that make the biggest headlines. They're the ones that address real needs efficiently and represent genuine value. And right now, Andrew Mangiapane might be exactly that kind of move. A calculated gamble by a general manager who knows what he's doing, betting on a player he understands and trusts to recover his form in a new environment.